What the fuck? I wanted to talk about astrology. Have a little bit of a hyper focus on astrology if you're a control freak. So you can control this instead of your life. For a person that is such a control freak like I am, maybe not control freak, I am a control freak. I have no real structure because my mind, I don't have routines, I don't have structure. If I write anything down for my videos, all my videos end up either way very stiff, like if they are scripted, I have too many notes or all of that, they don't feel like me, or they're not structured when I just talk. I want to have a little bit of structure in my videos. Maybe I should not lay down. I want to have a little bit of structure in my videos so I know what I'm talking about or what the general topic is, but all my videos feel like a podcast. I have a topic and I just talk about the topic. My mind works like a mind map. My brain works like a mind map. So I have this general topic and my thoughts race like this. This is another big topic, another big topic, which is related to the overall topic. And then I have single thoughts based on the big topics, bigger under topics, subheadlines. But my brain isn't topic, another topic, sentence. It's like topic, this one sentence here, you know what I mean? And because of that, I've always felt like I have to have a structure to be like everyone else. Nobody can follow my thoughts. And many people, my friends, my family always say, I have no idea how you got to that point or how you related, how you can put two things together that might not be put together by people who think more like in, I don't know how to say this, bullet points, maybe. Linear thinkers. I'm not a linear thinker. Convergent thinker is the word, I guess. What the fuck? I wanted to talk about astrology and how I use astrology to get a sense of control things I have no control over. Not really control. You shouldn't use astrology to control anything. You can't control anything. But how do I say this? Because I have no bullet points, I'm not really sure how to begin this. But astrology for me is a tool to figure things out. I'm a very self-conscious person. I'm talking in my head constantly, evaluating everything I do, I think, I say. And I like that. I don't know how many things I want to share about my own placements. I don't know. Maybe you should be safe with that. Because unless you share the house system, nobody can really do anything with it. Either way, nobody can do anything with it, even if you have this information about me. But I don't like this because I have the astrology information, all the charts of many people in my life, because I asked them and read a little bit about it. It was like, oh my god, no, I know. I'm a very intuitive person, so I sense insecurities of people around me. I grew up with a sister with borderline personality disorder, so I think this is a little aspect that's left of it, that I constantly check my surroundings, the people around me, how they feel, and this micro expressions or way every sentence they say, not in a manipulative way, just in I have to have this information about the people around me in order to prevent saying the wrong things so they don't explode or don't hate me. Or I know this is a coping mechanism because I was a sister of someone, or my sister had borderline personality disorder. And if you ask yourself why I say had, is she hasn't healed from it, she died, but almost 10 years ago. And this is another topic. But I think this is something where my attachment issues and a little bit of this anxious overall situation is rooted, because I've never felt really safe in my childhood home. And because of that, I seek safety in different ways. Most of the people don't understand why I'm doing this. or what I try to achieve with it. But astrology, you can use astrology, or maybe if you're a person like me, you could, I hate to talk in the you can, this helps you. I hate this because I hate social media gurus, and I try to be one because I wanted to share my thoughts and what I've learned, but I hate the teachy way because I'm not a teacher. I'm not a teacher, but I'm very philosophical. I think about many things. I've learned many things people may learn in their 40s or 50s because so many things happened to me and I had to experience and go through and suffer from. But because of that, maybe I should stick to the astrology thing right now. If you're a person like me, I can assure you that astrology can help, but you shouldn't dive too deep into it. Not too deep and seek information and learn about it. Like I had a hyperfixation on it, a very, very big hyperfixation. And I've learned, as I said, mind map in my head with other charts of people around me. So I had other placements, other house systems, other house. It depends on your rising sign, how the house system is placed and where the planets and other big points, I don't know how to name, Chiron, Lilith, Vertex, and Fortune. I don't know how it's called right now. I don't know what it is in German. Glückspunkt, if you know that. I don't want things like Vertex and Happy Point. No, what is it called? Luck, point of luck? No. Fortune? Pars Fortunae? This thing is not as important for me. But things like, what are my placements in the 4th house, for example, because that's the house of the home. And the 3rd house is the house of siblings, neighbors, and this whole, the people who are near to you, but not as have to be your home people. I don't know how to phrase this right now. But there are some placements in the 3rd house, which makes sense. But the 3rd house isn't just siblings, it's communication as well. And I know that my placements show me where some of my biggest wounds and strengths are and why I am like I am. And fun fact, my brother has one placement the same as me in the 3rd house, which leads to thinking that our sister died and had borderline personality disorder was, I don't want to say divine, but I think it was. It felt a little bit like we had the same, it's not the same sign, but in the same house. And we have many signs, the same signs, but in different houses, and some placements in the same houses, but different signs, you know what I mean. So, and sometimes these things help me to understand or rationalize a little bit the way of how I think, how I act, how I feel, and why some wounds are there and how I can overcome them. And I know that this isn't therapy and this isn't solving your problems, but it gives me, gives nicht. This is a German phrase you say. It gives nicht, which means it gives doesn't exist because it gives doesn't exist. But what I said earlier, I have a sense of understanding, or I'm more understanding of myself and my wounds and issues because of that. And it's not a solution, but a hint on, because you can look up placement there, sign there in this house, this degree, conjunction, opposition, trine, whatever, to XYZ. And you can look up what this means. And if you have this and this, or you can say, I feel like this and this, and you can look up what conjunctions, oppositions, and whatever may feel like your problem or your... I think everyone has a few aspects, not aspects in astrology, but a few things in your life which just replay over and over again. throughout your whole life, because communication is one big part of me. I felt always misunderstood, and that many people don't understand the way I think and talk. That's why I'm trying to post these kind of videos, because even if this has 20 views, it's me, my thought pattern in English, which is a huge thing for me, because I've always felt so unsure about my English and insecure because people mocked me for it in school. And that's fine, because I know school is a shitty place and everyone is insecure, and some people just have to bully other people in order to feel better, which is not good, not an excuse, but an explanation. And I guess if you are able to rationalize some of your issues and you don't know why they reoccur in your life, you can look it up in astrology and have black on white, I don't know if this is a phrase in English, why some things are the way they are. And you can look up solutions for it. Not solution in one day and it's gone, but how you can work through it, because the things that reoccur in your life or replay over and over again are things we have to go through over and over again, and they don't solve. They are big parts of your life. And especially if you have, for example, Chiron and Lilith in the same house, the same placement, or the same sign, like I do in one house, I know that this is my biggest wound. It's my third house. I don't have to lie, but it's Chiron and Lilith are my third house, and Pluto as well. Pluto is the same planet my brother is in his third house as well, and Pluto is the planet of death and transformation. As I said, I have an hyperfixation on astrology, but I'm not an astrologer because I don't have nearly enough knowledge. So I don't want to educate on astrology. It's just, I think astrology is a little bit subjective sometimes, because some people say Pluto is this, some people say Pluto is that, and there are some house systems where I'm like, what the fuck, this is so subjective. This isn't even based on really a real mathematic. Okay, enough. But I just wanted to say, if you want to know more about astrology, you should look it up. It's just what I think and I have in my brain, which doesn't have to be certainly right, but I think most of the things I've remembered or I've learned are right in some sense. This isn't the topic. So, I have Chiron and Lilith. And Chiron is your biggest wound, and the wound you cannot really heal, and this can be a wound from another lifetime. And Lilith is this, now I have the German phrase in my head, I can't. Lilith is like this feminine rage, I want to call it. Like I said, I have the German phrases in my head, but I can't really articulate this in English right now, because the German thing is like in my head. This is this, it's this, it's this, it's this. Okay, shut up. So, and where you do not want to stay quiet, and where you want to use this rage, this primal rage inside of you, where you want to tell the truth without holding back. But if you have Chiron in the same house, it's like both of these things which play to each other, which is incredibly hard, because communication is a very hard topic for me. But on the other hand, I want to communicate direct and the way how I think. But then this is the cycle for me, because these play like almost like yin and yang, if you know what I mean, because mind map, because sometimes I'm in this wound, this Chiron, I have to talk like this, I have to structure everything, I have to script, I have to do that in this order so people listen to me. And then I have this Lilith phase like I'm having right now, where I just talk the way I want to talk. And sometimes these videos where I just do what the frick I want to do, less people listen to me, but it feels way more real. And then I have this, nobody's listening to me, I should do this, I should do that, I have to prove the algorithm that people listen to me. And then I come into this Chiron thing. So, because I know this, I can clock way faster in which phase I am right now, or why I'm doing this. And for example, I don't want to tell so much, but I have a placement in my 12th house. This is the hidden house. Past life things, spiritual world, and just a little bit hidden things you try to hide, or things you blind spot, a little bit of that, all of this. And I have a placement in there, and I know that because of this placement, how I act in certain situations. I want to phrase it like that. Because if I tell what this placement is, I don't want this. I don't want to tell this placement. Oh, I hope you understand what I try to say. Because with these examples that I've given to you, you can look up, you have your birth date and time and where you've been born. And then you have to decide which house system you use. There are many. I'm using Placidus. I don't know if it's pronounced like that. I think it's Latin. But the more north you live, the bigger and smaller your houses are. So maybe you can use whole system. Whole system, and there's another one. Whole sign and whole house. Yes, whole sign and whole house. You can use them as well. But I like Placidus because I live in Germany, and so it's very evened out. Look it up. Have a little bit of a hyper focus on astrology if you're a control freak. So you can control this instead of your life. And so you can use all of this in order to find out more about yourself, your behaviors, why you act the way you do. And not to solve this, as I said earlier, you can't solve everything. And some problems or mechanisms or whatever reoccur in your life. And that's perfectly fine. But you have the possibility to know why this is. And some things like your Saturn placement, you have your Saturn return between 27 and 29, I think it is. I will have mine at 29 if I'm right now. But some things like this, you just know, which don't happen often. You know if they return like this, and you can look so many things up. I will talk about it more, I think. But you can see, okay, I feel like very disorganized right now. I feel like my life's completely falling apart. And if you look up, oh, I'm this old, and then this returns, or maybe some other big returns, or you can look up sometimes, like if some planets like Mercury get into retrograde. Many people on TikTok talk about these things often. If something in your chart, or the planets, or the placements, or the signs, or whatever, you might feel the way you do. You can't be a very much only logical person to do this. But if you are, you haven't watched this whole video, I assume. But if you are a spiritual control freak like me, astrology might help you sometimes to sort things a little bit out in order to feel a little bit safer or more understanding of yourself in certain aspects. Yes.